Hey guys, so I wanted to get this video out before 22 came along, and I didn't want to keep dragging it like how I talked about the story last time. So here is part three of my recap of summer 2019. The last time I stopped on July 12th. So let's go to July 13th today. Um, on that day, it was a sunny day. I went practicing for my road test. On August 22nd. On July 14th, yeah, it was also sunny. I started playing BGA Hearts more. The only other thing was my mom was telling me, "Oh, don't make sure you don't get too addicted," but she said it in a calm way. She didn't like seem mad about it that much at all. Sorry, there's something I have to take care of. Okay, yeah. Uh, I also ended up making a new song. That I played on the 15th. I recorded it on my phone. And I also played Love Letter on July 15th. On the early, I stayed overnight on like the 16th, like on BGA. So like, I stayed up late playing, and that's when I met a character called Titan 86. That was his username, anyways. And what happened was at around 3 o'clock, my dad got up to use the washroom, and then like I was like, oh, my dad almost caught me last game. I'm so glad I didn't get caught. And then I played against. That was my first game against Titan 86, and I lost. I got last place playing against him, and then he wrote, "At least your dad didn't catch you," and wrote a smiley face right beside it. Um, on July 17th, let's see. Okay, on July 16th, yeah, I didn't have class that day, so I didn't really go to school. Um, and then afterwards, at around 8:30 or 9, my dad took me out to do the road to practice the road test again. And we went out at dusk and went to this Home Depot place, and we found an empty parking lot and drove around it. And yeah, I was getting the hang of it. When we got back, I was so pooped out after only getting 5 hours of sleep the previous day. So we got home around 10:30, and I just crashed. Uh, I forgot to change into my pajamas, and like I think I fell asleep in my clothes. I just went out cold. On Wednesday, July 17th, I woke up at 9, and it was like I even got surprised about it too, because it was like 10 and a half hours. How did I go out for that long? And then I had to quickly rush to, and I grabbed an egg, a hard boiled egg, and then headed out the door. Just in time. I was 10 minutes late for my computer class, but I managed to get quite a bit of knowledge in. On July 18th, no, sorry. July 17th, I was feeling a little bit tired still after both of my classes. So then I was heading on the SkyTrain. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take a nap here. So then I rode around. I think I napped for about an hour, and then I headed on home. Yeah. The 18th, I'm gonna skip. Nothing significant happened that day. On Friday, July 19th. Oh, wait, no, what happened on the 18th? Oh yeah, there was this kid who on July 18th there was this kid who was trying to get a snack from the vending machine, and then he wasn't getting it, so he was trying to shake the machine, and then he did something I never thought anyone would do. He kicked the vending machine, and then the glass fell apart, and then like and then like yeah, the glass fell apart, and then people are just stunned and amazed, and everyone started taking pictures and such. I was there when it happened too, and I never would have believed it if I didn't see it for myself. um the and what's funnier was he still ended up getting his bag of chips. The following day, on July 19th, at around in the morning, I realized I got 35 out of 45 on my Python exam that was on the 12th, which was pretty good. Then I went to the vending machine area and I found the people have taped it with a caution in yellow, like an X style. Oh yeah, also like I ended up starting to feel a little discouraged from my math class because I wasn't getting as high grades as I thought I would from like my previous math classes. I used to get A's and such, but I was at around the B range. Apparently 22, I didn't know that 22 out of 30 counted as an A minus or such. So then there's this friend of mine, not a friend, an acquaintance. And then he wanted to show me what a difficult math class really looked like. He was taking math 338 at the time. And I remember he told me he was 31 years old. So around 3:30, I joined him in his class and just to see what it was about. I couldn't understand anything that his professor was saying. He was mentioning things about like the tensor product. It was like purely proof based. And then he told me that all the math I was doing up to this point wasn't even considered real math. It's like after like 338 was like a purely proofs based class. The only numbers you see are 0 and 1, occasionally 2 and such. So yeah. Yeah, it was a sunny day on the 19th. For dinner, I headed to White Spot, got my usual calamari, clam chowder, and apple pie. I took a picture of it. I still have it on my phone. So, and it was around 5:30, 5 p.m. I have the picture on my phone. So if anyone wants to see it for confirmation, I'm not making this up in my head, guys. I'm not very creative. All right. I went to White Spot before my church event at 7. It was like a mass type. We had a pastor speak and all that. So, and I also met up with Brandon too. Yeah. And when it was done, he was the one who gave me a ride home. I think there was someone else with him though too. On July 20th, on Saturday, July 20th, a new song popped up in my recommendation section on my iPhone. It was by Lil Dicky called We Love the Earth. It was a collaboration of a whole bunch of artists. You guys should check it out sometime. And afterwards, my dad, in the early morning, like my dad took me for another run of practicing driving. So yeah. That's all I remember about the 20th. The 21st, nah, can't remember. Oh yeah, on the 22nd, I had to I was on the 22nd, I had to select a few courses, but there was a mandatory appointment I had to make with my advisor and such just to check my academic progress. So then so it was my time to select courses for the fall semester was on the 22nd, but I couldn't exactly register for courses yet. So I had set that meeting with an advisor on Tuesday the 23rd at around 2:30. On July 23rd, I remember after having breakfast, I stayed at home, played a few games, and then like at around noon, I headed out for lunch. I went to the sushi place, and I remember getting a appetizer, sashimi. It was such a variety: salmon, tuna, hokage, any piece you can name of. And I got a spicy salmon roll. The total after giving tips came out to 1836. The 22nd and the 23rd were both sunny days, I remember. Yeah. And then afterwards, I arrived at school. It was about 1:30. I printed off some forms I needed to fill in before meeting with my advisor. There were basically forms like how much sleep are you getting? What's your study habits and all those. So Yeah, and then I met with her. I told her I was considering doing a double degree or a double major. It was the idea was I either wanted to do computer science and business or math and business just to apply my math knowledge as much as possible. Like right now, I know I'm doing a business major and math minor, but at the time I had a different mindset. And then she's like, it's going to take double the time, maybe 8 years if you went that way. So then I said, okay, so I'll just probably do and at the time I thought a computer science minor would be better than a math minor. So I said, okay, I'll do business and computer science. And she said, that's okay. And then I was able to select my courses. No, I'm not going to be doing a recap of the fall semester of 2019 because I'm not very proud of that semester, but I'm just going to tell you I took 4 courses, Math 309, which was continuous optimization. I took Macam 101, which was discrete mathematics. I took linear programming, business 336, and computer 125, which was C++ or C. Yeah. Afterwards, when that matter settled, I played a bunch of games of coup. And I remember during one of those games, some guy named T3 Exit wrote in a chat box, "You're just a big shit, Kirby." And I remember underneath his message that were the words, "Insult, provocative actions. Feel free to report this player for inappropriate language if you can." I didn't know how to report a player on BGA at the time because I was still relatively new. So what I did was I took a picture of the table number and I was like, okay, if I ever need to use this, I will, but I don't know how to report a player right now. I know how now, but I didn't know then. But he seemed really friendly to me, so I didn't really want to give him a red thumb or anything. On the way back, my way to Kumon, sorry, no, not Kumon. We're still on the 23rd. Oh, I also remember, I also eventually met Abe, a character named Abe94, at least that's his username. And then he also really enjoyed playing Coup. But he didn't really like the Inquisitor mode. I loved the Inquisitor mode at the time. And so every time I was a table administrator, he would write, "Paul, can you please remove the Inquisitor?" And I'd be like, sure. And then I remember I said, okay, I actually want to switch up the settings so I can make as many people happy as possible. So I said, okay, last time, Abe, we did not do the Inquisitor. This time we have to do it. Then he said, okay. And I said, okay, let's switch up the settings again. And I chose one with factions where it's when you go in a team against each other. And then Abe said, I actually really like factions. And Abe94 was the guy who told me that Captain was the easiest character to bluff when you're playing Coup. Yeah. So that's pretty much what happened throughout midnight on the 23rd. On July 24th, I met with some of my ordinary differential equations buddies. I forget their names now, but I know it was a guy. I remember telling him about the story about the UCF professor accusing his class of cheating. And then he was like, he was pretty interested. And then I told the end of the story. And then he was like, oh, so the professor basically said to those students, "You're dead to me," basically. Yeah. On my way to Kumon later that sunny afternoon, I remember I decided to film a short video. I had Filmora at the time, so I knew how to edit. I don't have Filmora right now. The reason I never really used Filmora was because it was it costed $78 a year to use to get rid of that label, because if you don't pay, apparently the label stays on there, and it's a great editing software. And then I filmed the video of myself eating a ghost pepper chip with the fray "How to Save a Life" playing in the background. Feel free to check it out on my YouTube channel. It's called Owned by a Chip. On On Thursday, July 25, I on Thursday, July 25, I went to no, I was slightly a little late for my tutorial. I got there around 9:40, but I was still able to grab most of the knowledge, which was nice. On Friday, July 26, I remember meeting up on BGA with a character called Tiny Dancer. We were playing Hearts together. I had pizza for lunch on the 26th. And I don't remember anything else about the 26th. I'm going to skip the 27th because I remember nothing about that day. On Sunday, July 28th, Facebook said it was my birthday. At the time, I didn't feel comfortable giving out my real birthday because I was very insecure about myself. So I wasn't very comfortable giving out my actual birthday for the sake of being embarrassed. It's ironic because I've done way more embarrassing things before in my life. A girl, Nicole, from my church, she wished me a happy birthday. My friend Philip also wished me a happy birthday. And yeah, in the morning, and that made me smile. I had a new assignment to do that was due on Thursday, August the 1st for my computer class. And I was just like, I was not having it. At around 6 o'clock, I had dinner, and then I started passing out. I guess it was from a lack of sleep. I must have stayed up late the other night. I must have. And then my dad was like, "Oh, son, are you okay? You seem really tired." And then I told him, "This course is kind of hard. I need to take a break. I'm going to go to the sports night event tonight, and then I'll come back tomorrow refreshed. I'm going to get my tutor to help me." I got a tutor from Varsity Tutors on July 11th, and I was about to use him on the 30th. Not use a person for negative purposes, but yeah, I'll use him on the 30th to help me do my assignments. And then he's like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." So I went there. The main guy, one of the main guys, Joseph, said, "Hey, Brent, is it your birthday today?" And I said, "Yeah, it was." On July 28th, it was a sunny day. We played volleyball at sports night. We played a bit of basketball too. And my friend Henry was like, "Hey, Brent, do you want me to go take you out somewhere to eat or something?" And I said, "Nah, it's fine." He insists, like I said, you really don't have to go take me anywhere. And he said, "Ah, okay." July 29th and the 30th, I don't remember. On the 31st, I sat with the same guy I sat with on the 24th. Yeah. On midnight, July 31st, 2019, on Wednesday, I ended up going on BGA again. I played Coup on my phone. I remember it hitting, I remember the dates changing to August 1st. I'm like, wow, it's August. I feel older. It's like I don't know if you guys ever have this feeling, but whenever a month or a year changes at times, I don't feel ready for it to change because I just don't like the idea of getting older and such. I don't know if that happens to any of you guys though. It's happened to me quite a bit. So then on August 1st at nighttime, I was playing with a guy named Morizaki from Iran. And then we were playing the Inquisitor mode. I remember I loved using the Inquisitor to examine other people's cards. And this guy named Saltlick was also there too. I remembering, and my friend EPR was also there. Her name was Alina or something, and she was from Spain. She told me at 2 a.m. that it was 11 a.m. in her place. So I knew that Spain was 9 hours ahead of Canada. Yeah. And I remember playing with Saltlick, Morizaki, EPR, and someone else. There were 5 of us in total. Morizaki was pretending to have a duke, so he claimed tax. I examined one of his cards, and he showed me the captain. I had 2 inquisitors at the time. I examined EPR's card, and she showed me she had a Contessa. Yeah, and then Salt Lake examined my card, and then he switched the card back in the deck, but I ended up getting another Inquisitor. So like it was totally worth it. So basically Morizaki cooed EPR first, and she lost an assassin. Then someone tried to assassinate Morizaki, but he claimed to block with a Contessa. I thought he had the Duke and Captain, so I challenged his Contessa, but he showed me that I was wrong, so I lost one of my Inquisitor cards. Then Morizaki used the Captain to repeatedly steal from me. I was like his ATM at the time. And then I was like, hey, I have an idea. I'm going to do something I never tried before. So the first 2 times, Morizaki stole from me, and I let him. Then Morizaki killed EPR, so EPR was out of the game. At one point, I had 4 coins, and then Morizaki wanted to steal from me a 3rd time. But the 3rd time, I waited for 10 seconds, and then I blocked him with my Inquisitor. And then, of course, he took the bait and challenged my Inquisitor, and I was right, and he ended up losing his captain. I ended up having a Duke. I collected tax, and on my next turn, I cooed Morizaki, and he was out of the game. I ended up getting second to last place. This guy, I don't know, he ended up assassinating Salt Lick and then assassinating me. I guess I wasn't paying attention, so I lost by 1 card. I remember at one point I asked EPR, she added me to her friends, and then I added her back, and I said, hey, do you want to play a game of, whatchamacallit? Do you want to play a game of, what was it? Do you want to play factions? And she said, oh, I don't like factions, but if you want to, it's okay. So I didn't end up playing it. On August 1st, I woke up a bit late. I remember playing, and then I was seeing the sun coming up, because in July and August, like the sun comes up really early, like 4:30 or 5 a.m. For all you people who stay up late at night, you would know this. And then I went to bed, I think around 5. I woke up around 9, and then I made it to school at 9:50 for my tutorial. I had a concept where I didn't understand, so I asked my TA Connor, and then he said, oh, but you missed the first half of the lecture. And I said, 1/3. And he said 1/3, half, or whatever. He said, so I'm not going to explain it to you again. I already explained it. I expect you to be there when I explain it. So I'm like, okay, I'll figure it out myself. August the 1st was a sunny day. That night, I realized that SFU was starting to open 24/7. Because it's like final exams were approaching, so they were open 24/7. So I was like, okay, I'll just stay overnight and get some stuff done. And I actually did get some stuff done that night. I just don't remember what I did. I ended up getting 13 out of 20 on that Python assignment that my tutor helped me with. I don't even remember what the assignment was right now. Yeah. Then on August the 2nd, it was the last day of classes before final exams. And I remember I remember taking my classes, and I went home and did some Sudoku before I did math. On Saturday, August the 3rd, I was pretty tired, and I had to excuse myself early at 1:55 p.m. because I said I had a really big headache, and my boss let me go home early. I had sushi for lunch. I had a roll and a cone. And then the lady seemed really nice happy to see me. And then she said, "Hey, we actually made our own spicy sauce this time. We didn't use sriracha sauce," which made me happy because they don't really like sriracha sauce on sushi. Spicy sauce should be with mayo. Yeah. Um, on August the 4th, on Sunday, August the 4th in the morning, I finally understood how to do the a certain type of differential equations. It's like where you had overlaps and such. Yeah. And I even made my own question and was able to solve it myself using the regular method and the Laplace transform method. At around 5 o'clock, my dad and my mom had to go out for shopping. And then I was like, hey, SFU is going to be open until midnight today. I want to try go out there again. So at around 5:30 or 6, the first thing I did was I headed out and I went to White Spot to for dinner. And then I had my usual meals of calamari, clam chowder, and apple pie for dessert. And yeah, the total was still 27.27, not including tip. And then I took the bus opposite direction back to my university. And I studied for an hour, and then I played some coup. Two people I remember, Hung 308 and Clown Shoes, were there. And I was playing coup. A bunch of people kept trying to assassinate me. But I think I got like 7 kills in that 6-player game. And then one guy eventually cooed me. Hung 308 won the game because apparently he had an Inquisitor and I had a captain. I tried to steal from him and he blocked my steal. I was disappointed. I thought since I had the most kills, I should have won that game, but I let it slide. On Monday, August 5th, my mom announced that she had to go on another business trip that was going to last for a week and a half. She was going to be back on Saturday, August 17th, 2019, which just so happened to be the last day of exams for everybody. But like that meant she would have to miss my father's birthday, which was the 6th, and would have to miss my holiday, the beginning of my holiday, which was Monday, August the 12th. So basically, yeah. On Saturday, no, on Tuesday, August the 6th, I went to Safeway and I bought my dad a cheesecake. He really loves cheesecakes, especially with the strawberry sauce on top of it. And then I bought the candles. Yeah, and then we took a few pictures and such too. On Wednesday, August the 7th, I remember it was sunny. I went to Kumon to work that day at 3:30. And I remember one student didn't complete his homework. So then I considered giving it back to him so he could like do it on his own and then along with the new homework he was assigned. But my boss said that's not the best way to approach it. So I didn't end up doing that. On Thursday, on the 8th and the 9th, I'm going to skip because nothing really interesting that happened that day besides me studying, but who wants to hear about that, right? I know you guys don't want to hear about this, but who wants to hear anything about studying, right? Yeah. Saturday, August the 10th, I was still studying for my Python and I studied a pretty decent amount. That night I played Mario Kart until 11:30 and then fell asleep. On Sunday, I took the test at 3:30 p.m. It was a cloudy day that day. And I remember I was surprised I ended up answering more questions than I thought I would. despite my lousy work habits. I remember going home and that night and watching Dom Tracy make a video camping outside Lance Stewart's house for 24 hours. And Lance wasn't even mad at him. I remember I watched two videos previously too, and they were videos that were really nice. I liked how they were released in the summer 2019 because it's like I could relate to their characters a lot. I watched a video of Jack Doherty camping, hiding inside Lance Stewart's new apartment. And I watched a video of Lance Stewart talking about that. And there were sunny days in their videos, and those videos were released on July 23rd. And yeah, I was like, it just brightened my mood because it fit in with the settings. Yeah, and then my dad's like, okay, just make sure you don't just make sure you understand everything your math test is tomorrow. And I actually got a pretty good hang of it too. I think it was because I stayed up too late too many times. I ended up having insomnia and not being able to sleep at all that night. So then I remember at 4:40 a.m. I was still playing solitaire, and I was on my phone, and then I fell asleep. I woke up 3 hours later. It was an 8:30 exam that day on Monday, August the 12th. It was a sunny day. And I woke up and I actually had a lot of energy when I woke up. My dad made me breakfast, a big breakfast of eggs and bacon and toast. And it was delicious. And then he drove me to campus for me to take my test. I remember I got I got 75% on it. Like I understood how to do basically almost everything. There was this one question though, I remember I didn't understand. It was like, prove the distributive property of the convolution. And I wrote, no, period, you do it. And I remember 4 weeks later, the examiner gave my test back to me and wrote, nope, just giving you a 0. I got 42 out of 56. I was like 13% above average. The highest was 54.5 out of 56, and the lowest was, I think, 4. I learned all this on August 23rd, Friday. But yeah, we'll get to that. I felt I was pretty satisfied with my exam. So my dad and I watched a lot of Psyche K, and I got inspired by that show to eat ramen. So my dad and I went out to eat ramen around 12:30. He needed to buy some tools in that area too. So then we ate ramen. It wasn't anything crazy really. And then my dad said, to be honest, it was pretty satisfactory. It was just satisfactory. It wasn't perfect anything. And I even took 2 pictures of the ramen bowls. If you want me to confirm it, I will send you guys the picture. When we got home, I played Wii Sports. No, sorry, not Wii Sports. I played Mario Kart 2 times. The first time I wanted to make a recording. The first recording I only lasted for 6 minutes because I ended up getting 6th place in the first race. And then the second one, I made it through all the 32 races and got 456 out of a possible 480 points. Yeah, which was pretty good. At that time, it was about 5:30, and I finally took a nap. I woke up at 7 just in time for dinner. And my friend Jacob told me that I think he and a few of his friends, one of them was Brandon, not the Brandon from my church, another Brandon from high school. We were going to go to this place on campus called The Study and hang out late at night. On August 13th, I woke up in the afternoon, skipped breakfast completely. I don't even think I had lunch. And I know it's bad, but yeah. I went to this study at around 7, and I just got a drink with the rest of them. I was pretty hungry myself, but I didn't want to eat any. I didn't really want to be different from others and stand out differently. Um, then I wanted a plate of calamari, but yeah, because I love calamari, but I didn't get it. We played pool. I even got Brandon to film me playing pool, so I could look back on it 10 years later in my life. And I actually got three consecutive shots in the beginning too. And yeah, then at around 9 o'clock, it started to get dark and it was closing out. Brandon asked Jacob if he could. Brandon asked Jacob if Jacob could meet Brandon at his house to hang out for an hour. And it was like the funniest thing ever because it was like, because Jacob and Brandon were going to meet up like eventually. I guess it was because Brandon was impatient about hanging out with Jacob since they like last time they hung out was like a really long time ago. And then Jacob was like, why? This is so weird. I went back to Jacob's house in his car, and he packed a ham sandwich or something, and then we both drove to Brandon's house, where his female friend was there with him. And then I played a song of Waterflame's Dark Seaside, just to match the piece, the mood that was that night. And it was a full moon too that night as well. On Wednesday, August 14, I don't remember anything really, other than that I made a new song. It was my third song called Dark Forest. And you can watch it on my channel too if you want. On the I stayed up playing Mario Kart, and it was like 5:30 and I was still really like energetic. I left a note for my dad saying that I'm gonna go take a walk just to see what it's like in the early morning. So I took a walk, I took the bus, and like I was surprised there were more people up than I expected. It was like 5:45 a.m. I even tried to take a picture of the sunrise, but my phone had this weird setting and it turned into a black and gray picture. It was like a picture you'd get from a horror movie, basically. Yeah. And then like I went around home at around 7:30, just in time before my dad was about to head off to work, and I just slept. I was more responsible that day. I had both breakfast and lunch. My dad got home around 3:30. Apparently, we're gonna go camping in Hope in the USA. So then my dad got home around 3:30. We packed our stuff and we left at 4:30. And we were driving along the highway, and yeah. We just set up our tent places. Yeah. On Friday, August the 16th, I don't remember much other than it was a cloudy day. And then at one point, my dad and I were walking along the shoreline in the beach. And then we sat down to rest on a log. And there was like this gray wood beside my feet. At one point, my dad decided to have a cigarette. And then I decided to play a prank. And I took my phone and filmed it. And he looked at me with a face like this, and then continued back to doing whatever he was doing. That's all I remember about the 16th. Yeah, on the 17th, on Saturday, August 17th, my mom left a WeChat mail on my dad's phone saying she had arrived home. And at around 4 o'clock, I remember 4 p.m., my dad and I went to this cave. It was it was this cave, and then we were bending underground, and then it was like full of sand and such. That's the only thing I remember. At night we went out to eat in a buffet. I filmed it. I recorded my dad eating an oyster, and then I was like, hey, you're eating an oyster wrong, because you're supposed to scoop it and eat it up from the shell. And because like I don't know if you guys watched this video, because there's this video that explains how to properly eat an oyster. You're not supposed to use too many condiments. You're not supposed to use a fork on the oyster. You're supposed to just tip it and eat it like this. Um, yeah, I filmed a 1 minute video of it just so I could reflect back on it 10 years later. What else? Yeah, nothing. Oh, yeah, I remember. My dad wanted to return a product to Walmart, but at that point it was pretty late. We couldn't go head on home and such. So then we came up with we did something we almost never do in real life, and that is we ended up so we drove our car outside Walmart, and then we brushed our teeth by the bathroom sink, and then we got our sleeping bags and we camped outside in our car outside of Walmart for the night. On Sunday, August 18, we woke up around 7 a.m. It was a sunny day on the 18th. And then, I had two events. I had church at 10 a.m. and I had soccer at 3 p.m. for my CCO church, my university church. So then we returned the product. On the way home, I got a Starbucks drink, like the bottled drink. It was a mocha flavored. And then my dad dropped me off at Blue Mountain Church. I met with the pastor Brad. They were happy to see me. They remembered my name despite the passage of 2 months and 9 days. And I met with my mother again on the Sunday, August 18. At 3 o'clock, my dad dropped me off at Lafarge Lake, Douglas, where there was a soccer field where the event was being held. One of Rudy's friends, there was this guy named Jacob, not the Jacob I know, but like another Jacob. He was tall, skinny, had brown hair, wore glasses. Jacob Brown, yeah, that was his last name too. And he seemed like he seemed like a real nice guy. His friend Nico was there too. And then we played soccer. At first we were casually playing. At one point I even remember being the goalie, and I filmed myself. I set the phone beside the net to film myself being goalie. I was a pretty bad goalie. My reflexes weren't strong enough. So then like I only blocked 2 shots. One was directly coming to me and they did this. And the other time I had a position like this. And when a ball came, I was able to block it. And eventually I checked, apparently someone accidentally kicked a ball at my phone, and my phone wasn't able to record everything. I recorded myself for 6.5 minutes, but it was only there, showed my face for about 6 minutes. I think we played competitively. I don't remember if I won or lost. After the soccer was done, everyone drove back to Main Street. There was this parade, and street vendors were giving out papaya, and like I got mine. I got a shrimp flavored papaya, and it was really delicious actually. I headed home at around 8 o'clock. On Monday, August 19, I slept in and my dad let me sleep in. Woke up a little late, 10:30, I guess. My dad basically told me that on August 21st, he wouldn't be able to coach me on driving because he had some work to do. So we practiced extra. And then I was reminded that even though it was a holiday, I still need to do what's important, basically. And my mom agreed, and she was very friendly about it too. On Tuesday, August 20, I finally decided to teach math. I didn't really make any videos because like I didn't exactly know what medium I was going to use. Like I had a whiteboard, I had an old whiteboard at home, and I had an old whiteboard at home, but like I didn't know how I would position my phone or how I would write, or if the phone would capture anything I wrote down and such. So yeah, I didn't at the time I didn't know I could use Zoom to teach math. And even right now, that's not the best platform. I need to change it up too. Um, I had breakfast. I went to White Spot for lunch and had my usual meal. And then I was heard from someone that smoking after eating is a really pleasant feeling. So then I went to the place I usually get cigarettes, and then I got some. An elderly lady at around 1:55 p.m. told me like, "Oh, that could kill you. My husband has been smoking for 30 years. Like she said, so be careful." Uh, After that smoke break, I went to buy a grade 10 Math Smart book. And then the cashier, first she looked at me in surprise, like, "Oh, you're learning math. You look like you're in college." And I'm like, "Oh no, I'm teaching people math." And then she's like, "Ah, okay." I pitched the idea to my parents and they seemed pretty happy about that. Uh, on midnight, I remember getting 467 points out of 460 in Mario Kart, which was the highest I ever achieved. The 21st, played a bit of Mario Kart. Okay, let's talk about the driving road test. I'm sure you guys are excited to hear about that. So on Thursday, August 22nd at 1 p.m., it was a sunny day, and I had a road test in ICBC in Burnaby. And so the examiner like got into the passenger side of my car and I drove. The end result was I was not qualified. And let me explain what happened during the driving process. Apparently, I was driving too slow at one point. The speed limit was 60, but I only went 40. It came from me feeling too nervous. And I remember something that caused me to fail was I was going 50 kilometers an hour in a school zone, which was only 30 kilometers an hour. It's like you have to yield to it 9 to 5. And it's like, it's very easy to miss. Uh, I told my parents, he didn't say I failed. I got not certified. And my dad was like, "Yeah, that's exactly what fail means. Not certified. And yeah, not qualified." So then, yeah, it's like, apparently if you even have one violation, you fail the road test. Um, that night, my mom said my shoes needed cleaning. So then she said, just remove the sole and use like something to scrub it off. So I remember doing that. I told my parents basically, my church was holding an event at 7 p.m. That 7 p.m. the following day on the 23rd. On the 23rd. But like basically I wanted a bit of me time. I just wanted time to explore outside of my house. I felt I was cooped up for too much of the summer semester. So then like I basically lied and told my parents that, "Oh, I'm gonna be visiting the group early morning in 11 o'clock." So I was, yeah, so then they agreed to it. On Friday, August 23rd, on 2019, I remember, yeah, I don't know how I'm remembering this stuff, guys. I didn't even write this down. I didn't even prepare for this. It's like photographic memory. I left the house. I basically like wanted to first explore the areas of Rocky Point. Basically just enjoy the atmosphere and such. I considered going to White Spot for lunch, but I was like, you know what? This is like the fifth time this year I've gone to White Spot. I'm gonna go somewhere else for lunch. Um, so basically, at around 11:40 a.m., I went to the Rocky Point ice cream parlor to get ice cream and was relieved that there were only about 8 people there. Usually it's like a long lineup of people. I guess it was because it was a cloudy day that day, so not as many people showed up. And then I remember I ordered a cookie dough ice cream, 1 scoop from the cup, and it costed $4.40. Um, I ate my ice cream and then I waited 20 minutes so I could regain my appetite. And I said, hey, I've never been to the Boathouse before. I heard it's overpriced, but I'm excited to try it. So then I headed in off to the Boathouse for lunch at around 12 o'clock, and was just for one person. I remember I had a waitress that day. It was the view was nice. I think the reason why the Boathouse costs more is because it's like you could see the view. It's like anything that like I'm gonna go slightly off topic. I realized that anything that like any restaurant name that has the word sea in it, or like ocean, anything relating to ocean tends to be overpriced. Basically, there's this restaurant in my campus called the Horizon, and yeah, it's related to the sea, and yeah, it's also pretty pricey. I haven't been there, but I have had friends who have. Uh, Anyways, back to this. So basically, I looked at the menu and then I was like, holy smokes. The cheapest thing was like fries, and it was like $8.99. And I was like, oh man, there's like so many. This risotto costed $25.99. I guess you could say it was my first time doing fine dining, I guess. It was really, really, a lot of things were really expensive. Like I spend a lot of money on food, but even I have standards, guys. I ordered some Cajun fish tacos. The waitress was like, "You sure? It's a little spicy." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sure." Um, I they were $16, I remember, and then I hate it. It was okay. Like it wasn't bad, but it wasn't anything to write home about. And then and then the waitress was like, "Do you want any dessert?" And like before I had time to make up my mind, she said, "I'll go get the dessert menu." I thought, okay, yeah, I'll see what they have for dessert. But I wasn't skeptical. No, but I wasn't optimistic. For the dessert, like so I decided, okay, I'll just scan the dessert menu, and um, I ended up like getting a chocolate molten lava cake with pomegranate sauce with vanilla bean ice cream. I remember watching the molten lava cake in MasterChef, and I always wanted to taste one. So then I ate it, and it was actually pretty good. The cake costed $12, so yeah, that was $28 before tax. And I remember after tax and with tip, I ended up giving $35. And I left thinking, I don't think I'd go here again by myself. About that time, like basically my phone was running at 25%. And I felt a lot of anxiety. So on the sky, I decided to go to Rudy's house because I knew Rudy was going to the event tonight. And on the SkyTrain right there, I opened my grades up for this semester, and I saw I got an A minus and B, A minus in math and B for computer. It wasn't the. I remember getting very similar grades in my spring semester, but like the feeling wasn't as satisfactory because I didn't work as hard, basically. Um, Nevertheless, my parents rewarded me, I think, about $300 for my grades that semester. Anyways, back to this. So basically, on that particular day, yeah, so I felt satisfied. I saw my grades and such. So for my math final exam, I'd already explained that. I went to Rudy's house, knocked, and I saw Jacob, and I was surprised because I never saw Jacob at Rudy's house before. So I apparently he was a new tenant there and such. Yeah. So then he's like, "Oh, hey, Brent, how's it going?" I'm like, "Oh, hey, Jacob," and like basically he told me, he asked, "What brings you here?" And I said, "Oh, I was strolling around the neighborhood and I thought I'd stop by. I want to go to the church event tonight with you guys." And he said, "Yeah, sure." And so then they invited me in. I I said, hey, do you guys want to play a game of coup? Because I was on BGA with my phone at that time, and they were like, it's all good. It was a good thing they didn't ask to play it too, because my phone just about then died. At around 5 o'clock, Rudy and Jacob said, hey, we're going to leave now for the church. Do you want to help us set up tables? And I was like, yeah, I have nothing better to do. Let's go set up tables. So then we went there. At 7 o'clock, the rest of the people showed up. I think we had dinner there. If we did, it was probably sushi. What else happened? Oh yeah, and then afterwards, we went to Bubble World. The majority of the people went to Bubble World to have food, because some people didn't have the sushi dinner. So then we got there. I sat with 3 other guys. One of them got, I forgot what 2 of them had, but one of them ordered condensed bread with condensed milk. And I'm not going to lie, it smelled delicious. I didn't order anything because I just didn't feel like it. So then I remember at the end, everyone was talking, and the waitress bought us for our check. She thought we were going to pay together, but we actually wanted to pay separate. And then so then she gave them separate checks. 2 people, Grace and Steven. Grace was the girl who picked me up for the mountain walking thing on June 22nd. And Grace and her boyfriend, Steven, gave me a ride home. We were singing the song Dangerous by Cardinal Official featuring Akon on the way home. It was like, that girl is so dangerous, that girl is so... Yeah, you got the song. And then I told them to slow down at one point, and they eventually made it all the way home. I got home at 11:16 p.m. I was pretty much out the whole day. On the 24th, I learned that Blue Mountain Church was having a barbecue, and that everyone was gonna bring food. So then I decided, okay, I'm gonna bring a steak. And the steak I brought the steak previously was like about $12. I realized that I shouldn't bring something so upscale if people were just gonna bring chicken wings and such. And I didn't even tell anyone that I would bring steak anyways. So my mom thought, oh, just bring chicken wings. So yeah, and then so we put the steak in the fridge. I said, okay, I want to learn how to cook a steak too, so let's just keep it. On Sunday, August 25, I remember making it all the way to 183 elo. On the second last game, a guy named Charlie challenged my Duke, and I lost a card, but I ended up winning. And on the very last game, I played with someone named Caballero Del Honor. I played with that guy was from Taiwan. I played with some other people, Anti-Paladin, and so many other people. I remember at one Anti-Paladin's name was colored red, and when 6 people lost their cards, no one had launched a coup yet. And so then I wrote in the comment section, sorry, Red, but you don't deserve to have 2 cards. And then I cooed him, and he lost his assassin. And then I remember Caballero Del Honor wrote to me in the comment section, same to you, Paul, sorry, bud. And then he cooed me, and I lost my assassin. And all the assassins were gone, so the only way you could kill was through coup. And eventually, without giving all the details, I won the game. After the game was over at around 12:30, Caballero Del Honor added me to his friends and wrote in the comments section, wrote a message to me saying, I have to sleep. It's almost 4. It's basically 4 a.m. here. Night, bud. Well played. And then I wrote night and added him back. I brought my chicken wings to the barbecue at 3 p.m. And and I was surprised, like, because I thought these food was for everyone to share, but I guess everyone was eating their own food. I was surprised, but I was like, okay, I'll try to eat as much as I can. So then I put my wings on the grill. 5 minutes later, my friend Sean, who was in charge, said, "Brent, your wings." And then I went and got my wings out. Someone else apparently brought chicken wings, but had the spicy version. I tried one of his wings, and Sean and that guy tried two of my wings. And we had a good time at the barbecue. Um, that night, my that night I played some more BGA, and I remember I was playing against three people in a game of hearts, and then I like found a way to control my anger every time I got the cue. So I tried it, and someone passed me the cue, and I wrote "fuck" like with an exclamation point in the chat, and then I wrote that like 3 times, and then the fourth time I wrote it, this guy wrote, "I did that just to see you type that again," with a smiley face. And then this other guy smiled too, and no one took offense to it. On Monday, August 26th, I don't remember what happened other than for dinner, I cooked the steak, but I cooked it too rare. Like I was finding it really tough to chew through. And then I put it back on the grill and cooked it for 2 more minutes. And my parents laughed at me. Yeah. On the 27th, I met up with my friend Teomir. We went to watch a movie. It was supposed to be a comedic movie, but I didn't really laugh at it. I didn't understand anything that was going on. I even remember falling asleep halfway through the movie. And I woke up, and then Teomir and I were laughing. He was like, "I don't even understand what that movie was about." We went to Rocky Point later and we both got matcha green tea ice cream. On August 28th, it was a sunny day. I played coup with EPR. I played two games unranked. One of them was ranked, but I instantly regretted it because I ended up losing elo and falling below 200, which led me back to average player. That night, I watched a movie with my parents called Little Miss Sunshine. If you guys know that movie, oh boy, like that's all I gotta say to you. If you guys don't know that movie, yeah, it's an interesting movie. It's entertaining. It's not bad. It's just entertaining and very interesting. I'm not gonna share any details. I basically had an orientation the next day. I had an orientation called like it was basically on August 29th, I was gonna have an orientation where I would be with some of the where I would introduce first year students to the campus and like, you know, what like basically university life and such. So yeah, I remember I had orientation before I had my first year at the campus. So yeah, and then I dressed business casual. I wore a blue t-shirt, a blue collared t-shirt that day. And I remember it wasn't really an orientation. I just wanted to get out of the house. So I got to campus. I took a 3-hour nap. I had A&W for lunch. I played Love Letter with a few people at around 2:00, 2:25, and I asked, "What are some other games that you guys know on BGA that you can recommend to me?" And then someone recommended Seven Wonders. Another person recommended Not Alone or Keyflower. Yeah. At around 6:00, I decided to start heading home. I met up with Titan 86 again, and then I told him about the time I got reported for swearing. It wasn't about the one on the 25th. It was another time. Some guy didn't like me swearing, and then I got reported. And then he's like, lol, did you get reported? And I said, yeah, I got a negative 10% in karma and a little warning. And then he said, and then Titan86 wrote, I didn't like it, but it never bothered me, and I didn't report you. And we played hearts together. I don't remember the results of what we got. On Friday, August 30th, me and Jacob went to Playland. We got our tickets. I remember recording the ride that spins you around, but you can't see it on the phone because it's like you don't know whose point of view it is. We talked about deep fried butter. I told him about the movie The Long Haul, which, by the way, is a horrible movie. It's basically a sequel to The Diary of a Wimpy Kid, but they didn't do it well at all. And then we went to visit the animals. Like, we went to visit cows. We went to visit like so many animals. I remember I held my shirt up like this because I couldn't stand the smell of farm animals, but he seemed perfectly fine with it. Jacob also in the process, like we both read about some fun facts about potatoes. I don't remember anything about them anymore. Other than fish and chips. No, but they didn't talk about fish and chips. Yeah. And then he told me a disgusting fact about chocolate milk, about how it's from cow's blood, and that like they do add food coloring to make it brown and such. And I was like, oh, I'm never drinking chocolate milk again. On the 31st, nothing happened. On September 1st, I went to White Spot before going to my church's sports night. This time after the events, we went to this Korean place, barbecue place, to get some food. I met up with this girl named Kelly, who apparently took the summer off, and I asked her about her vacation in Indonesia. She said she loved it. We got home at around 2 a.m. that day. And on Monday, September 2nd, which was Labor Day, I woke up at 10 a.m. My mom's like, you fell asleep at 2 and you woke up at 10. How about sleeping at midnight and waking up at 8? I just chilled that day. I didn't want to do too much since there was school the next day. But that night I played a racing game, not Mario Kart, but it was like some turbo game. And my dad said, this is your last night, son. Enjoy it while you can. And yeah, so that basically concludes my entire recap of the summer semester 2019. Hope you guys loved the video. I love to stay, but for now, I gotta jump. I'll see you guys on the other side of the bridge. Catch you next time.